The news of the president's positive COVID-19 diagnosis came after a debate in which the president's behavior was roundly criticized. And we've got a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll that was taken in a very precise window. It was taken all after the debate and before the president's diagnosis. And what does it show? We'll take a look. It shows Joe Biden ahead by 14 points, 53 to 39%. This is among registered voters. Again, the NBC Wall Street Journal poll. We had taken one just before the debate. Biden led by 8. And again, you can see that 53-39 lead. That's a pretty significant jump. So entirely conducted after the debate, showing some significant movement. That's the biggest lead Biden's had in this poll over Donald Trump, 14 points. Where's the movement here? A couple groups we can show you. This is a big one. Senior citizens, voters 65 plus. Before the debate in our poll, Biden led by 4 points among seniors. That was already better than Democrats have been doing in recent elections among senior citizens. It's basically been 20 years since Democrats won that demographic. So Biden was up 4 among seniors coming into the debate. Look at that. In our poll, an overwhelming advantage for Biden coming out of that debate among senior citizens. And if you look at some of the other scores here, voters' impressions of the candidates, very negative assessment of Trump among senior citizens. There's a positive one for Biden. So that's significant movement in a big demographic that turns out in elections, that was there for Trump in 16, that's been there for Republicans for a couple decades. But that is a place where Joe Biden's been showing some substantial movement. One other way of looking at this, I think, take a look at these numbers. Again, 14 points. Trump is hitting what could be, we'll see, what could be a low point for him in our poll. I mean, it may get worse for Trump. We'll see. It may get better for Trump. But it calls to mind a very similar moment in the 2016 campaign around the same time. This was Trump's low point in the fall of 2016 in our poll. It came after the release of the Access Hollywood tape. It was a 10-point advantage for Hillary Clinton. Trump down 14 right now. So the number's somewhat similar, though a little bit worse for Trump right now. But here's what jumped out at me when I saw this comparison. I said, let's take a look inside the numbers from Trump's low point in 2016, see how they compare today. This is what jumped out at me. It's a positive negative. Do you have a positive or negative view of the person? What do you think of the candidate as a person? And look at this. Trump's very negative, 39 positive, 55 negative. That's been that way for a while. Look at Biden. It's actually positive by 2 points, 43-41. That's a big change with what Democrats faced in 2016 with their candidate, because in that same poll in 2016, Trump's low moment, Trump was very, very unpopular, but Hillary Clinton was underwater. She was 10 points underwater, a 50% negative rating. That was one of the problems that Democrats had. Ultimately, voters who didn't like either candidate in 2016 broke decisively for Trump. Well, Biden is not. The negative is almost 10 points lower than it was for Hillary Clinton at this point in 2016. The basic view that voters have of the Democratic candidate may be different in 2020 than it was in 2016. That itself could have big implications when we get to November. We will see.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.